and learning from the older guys. Because at the first meetings, I was at the original meetings, some of them, you know, and some people don't even know where the word hip hop came from. Their perspective of hip hop is the beginning of Sugar Hill Gang, which is one of the labels I was signed to their subsidiary label, for history purposes. You know what I mean? But they don't even know what the word hip hop mean, and so of course they're gonna get things misconstrued. You know, they adolescents doing adolescents things. Parents are not being parents; they're being friends to their kids. You know what I mean? They're saying do as I say, not as I do, but they're showing them what they should not be doing because they're doing it in front of them. And so that's why hip hop, morals from hip hop actually started from. And then it went to the school. We are individuals. We didn't want to be taught the same curriculum because all of us are not the same person, so nobody can learn on the same level. So what hip hop rebelled against was, if you can do math better than you do reading, if you get basic math, then how often in life are you going to use algebra, trigonometry, and all the other geometries? You feel me? So if once you got your basics down, then that means you start using your God-given talent, which was reading, because now you're good at it. So it's easier to become great at something you're good at, as opposed to trying to be good at something you have no knowledge of. Like taking these young artists and trying to develop them and manage them, and you ain't never been to a certain plateau in your life. That's like the blind leading the blind. So, but the origin of the hip hop game, when we rebelled against it, what we did was just basically lock the doors, being silly kids, and not let the teachers in the cafeterias, bang on desks, bang on walls, bang on the radiators to make different sounds to create our own rhythms. And then we put either our rhymes and our raps on top of them. It's a difference between rapping and rhyming. So that they understand. You know, when you rap, you just talk trash. That's why you have no care about your morals that you say, because you're just rapping. So depending when you start rhyming is when you put your rhymes and your raps together to create a storyline, to give some people something to learn from. Building in a cipher. The cipher is not passing microphones around rapping. Building a cipher means you can tell me where I'm falling short as a man or as a young man and become a better man. Or I can tell you as a lady how you can be in a different perspective to appeal to a good man of God or somebody that can give you some moral learning. So that's the difference where hip hop has lost its substance at. So, and it has to have somebody that's been there in the creation of the game to talk about it. I heard some interview the other day where a guy was in there talking about the origins of hip hop, but he's only 20-something years old or 30-something years old. I've been doing this since 1976. If you can't go back that far, don't speak origins to me.
Well, tell them I'm sorry, Shelly, but tell them a little bit about your background and who you are and how you continue to use your God-given talents to promote the positivity of hip-hop.
Well, first of all, I'm GMan. And so everybody don't know I've been GMan my entire life. And yes, my first name is George, but the G don't stand for George. My mother nicknamed me her little God's man because I always spoke from a spiritual perspective. As a youngster, I remember these days. So that's what G-Man stands for. It stands for God's man. Not that I'm religious or none of that, because by no means necessary am I not Peter. In the Bible, for God, I will cut an ear off if I have to save a life and not think twice about it to protect. That's a different. But my mindset is as being an original G-Man of hip hop. I'm a former hype man for Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. You know, we had hits like It Takes Two, Joy and Pain, Get on the Dance Floor, Turn It Out, Outstanding, and stuff like that. And it's the difference between a good song and a hit and a smash. It Takes Two and Joy and Pain, those were smashes, because if you play them now, the club's still gonna erupt. So I give you a little bit of that in the G-Man show. You know what I mean? And as being a bodyguard, I learned different aspects of learning business and how to use what I learned from being part of the Sugar Hill Gang family, being signed to Joey Robinson Jr. directly. So that's my history where that's concerned. And I'm a professional bodyguard, as I mentioned. I'm a chef. I do hair. You know what I mean? So when I bodyguard some of my clients, I do their hairs. The rap roller sets don't make me less of a man because I know how to be a concierge for my clients.
All right, I can feel that.
Creating income. So I have to depend on Fika, who that guy to get some of your money that you never met. You know, so, and it's not being arrogant, and so I don't want it to come across that it's arrogant. It's just confidence. And when you've thought about things that you're supposed to do and should do, you can speak with confidence, because my God is the most confident, cocky person you can know. Because that's why he said, I don't want no idols before me. Because he's cocky. It's his. It's all about him. That's why I give it to him. And it's okay to do that. It doesn't mean that you're less than a man because you put substance in your music. It doesn't mean that you're less than a man because you stop disrespecting women. It It doesn't mean you listen to man because you stop at 10, 11, and 12, learn how to roll blunts. It's okay to stop doing them things and still be the man that you want to be, because most of them want to be a better man. Most of them want to live good. That's why they're getting the money and buying the cars, and that's because they want to live good. But it's all about how they do it. They matter. You know, it's your tactfulness. And in the hip hop game, we lost its tactfulness. We lost its respect. We need to change the game. And with this real school hip hop, the new one, Who That Got Your Back, the single that's gonna come out already picked for you, Tough Love, about the parents being friends and not parents, and then Be Where You Are, the song with me, Michael Jackson, Brew Dumas, and Debo Dumas from right here in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? Putting people on that I seen was hungry in the game, and produced by Rick Hollywood, the one and only DJ Rick Hollywood, produced one of the songs, Tough Love. But I know you're gonna love it because I took it on a metaphorical level. You see what I mean? That's thinking on the other end of eternity, for those that don't understand what the metaphorical level is. Thinking on the other end of eternity, not chasing orgasms, chasing life-gasms.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, we are live from the Man Show. Mr. Stevie is here. Mr. Toby is here. And, of course, the hostess with the mostest, Miss Shelley Webb herself is here. And, of course, I'm the mighty one, DJ Ricky Hollywood. And today, you know, we had some issues that we were going to talk about, something about a man and crying. I believe I saw that one on there.
A few things.
Yeah, a few things. So I think we got one of the a good person here to help discuss some of these topics with us in the original GMan Hip Hop. So let's get to our first question. Yeah, let's talk about the first item for discussion. Let's bring it to the table. What shall it be?
Well, I was kind of feeling what he was talking about, particularly about the origins and bringing things back.
Learning
Okay.
what the word hip hop actually means. That's big. Because we never even spoke about that, but actually knowing what hip hop mean and where it came from. Let's the terminology that is. Let's just break it down for real.
Okay, break it down for real.
In the 70s, if you can think back that far, some of you can't. Ask your dad and your mom to come in so they can school you a little bit. In the 70s, there was a term for the in crowd. The in crowd meaning the popular crowd, being down with the clique, with your homies. So in the 70s, you was hip.
Mm-hmm.
So we were hip hop. We was hip. And in the 70s, some of our inner city kids, not your urban city kids, some of you that never lived in New York where this stuff started, but lived in other cities, so you really can't talk about origins when you wasn't there. So you understand what I'm saying? So now, we didn't have the cute little mopeds and the cute little bikes and the cute little cars and all that. We didn't have that. We lived in inner city with rats, roaches, where they was running around, broken glass everywhere, just like they said in the message. So we couldn't get around like most people, so we had to take mass transit. Mass transit is another word for terminology for the train system. And back in the day, they had these things called turnstiles. We didn't have the money, so we couldn't pay. And the gates, they was locking the gates now, so you couldn't just open the door and walk in. So you had to pay tokens to get through the turnstile. When you put the token in, the thing go and you roll through. So if you didn't have the money, in order to get to these meetings in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, in Manhattan, you following me now? In order for you to get on these trains, you had to do what to the turnstiles, ladies and gentlemen? So there comes the term for hip hop, okay? Not because it was the first song that Wonder Mike or Big Mike or Mike said in the Sugar Hill Gang, hip hop, just because it was the first one. That first time you heard somebody use that terminology, it wasn't that it was the beginning of it. What it meant was it was the first record to come out in the industry, the first hip hop record to be played and manufactured and distributed and promoted and marketed. So let's just drop knowledge where knowledge is, and that's what that goes on. That can go to anybody out here, because I would never take my money and open up a store or some type of entertainment facility and think it's going to better my community. If I got billions and millions of dollars like a lot of people do have, that's their business, and I bodyguard some of the real big guys, the thugs. So it ain't like I'm coming from an arrogant state. It's coming from knowing. I know me. I would open up a college. I got hundreds of millions of dollars. My people need to get educated so we can reverse the Willie Lynch syndrome, free our people and bring them back home. But free them from the internal prison. That's where they locked up. So if that's what you do with your money, now you can write it off at the end of the year, get your money back, and you educate your people. That's what hip hop is about.
So hip hop had always meant to have a positive effect on the community So what is it that got them on the negative trail? Was it the infiltration of the people with the money that financed the groups like the NWAs and all the other groups that came and put the negative thing on hip hop? Or I'm just, where did it go awry? If this was the original purpose of it, how did we get to where we are today?
You can't blame NWA for seizing the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not blaming anybody for anything.
Not
just
you personally. I'm speaking in general because a lot of people have asked that question and they want to right away. They go back to the originators of the branch of hip hop called gangster rap. Mm-hmm. So if or the first ones that actually put a record out in gangster rap, because it may have been other guys felt the same way that was rhyming that just didn't get signed or just wasn't out at the time. So but the point is, since they got the recognition, people want to blame them, and it wasn't them. It was when I say corporate, it was them powers that be. Mm-hmm. Understood that long as you push negativity, it's going to be popular in the inner city because they're already a rebellious in nature. From our history, being put in a position when you always had to fight to survive, then you eradicate the conversation and you put the moderate tone things in their face because they're hungry for it, they're starving for it, they ain't eating. So you give them a little bit of negative things like maybe some drugs in their neighborhood, or somebody, I don't care who it is, do something to the neighborhood that's popular to them. They're making some money, it's fast money. They don't care who is destroying and how it's destroying. So that drops off, and then you popularize the colors because if I go, some people want to be stars, but they don't want to go on the east side of town because they don't get down with the east side of town because they're on the west side or they from the south side, but they want to be national entertainers. Don't make sense. So my point being is, now you can't go on the east side or the west side because you wearing a certain color like orange, green, black, blue, red. So you don't like that in your neighborhood that you don't own, by the way, that is owned by another guy with a foreign name. You don't want them to come in your hood with them colors on. So now somebody got smart. You can't knock them for their opportunity. They already gonna kill each other, hurt each other for them color shoes. So let me put out 1 billion pairs of shoes and see how many can I sell. They hard on stuff. They running from us in them. So running from them in them. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So you let them buy them shoes. Then they buy them colors. Then they buy those rags. Then they buy those dew caps. Then they buy those wave caps. Then they start realizing, now I made some quick money. I can get a nice car. And I know right now my tags ain't gonna be right. Because I'm not handling my own business, so my personal stuff is gonna fall. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have tags that once you get pulled over, you ain't got tags. That's probable cause to go further. You're talking to a bodyguard here, by the way. That's probable cause to go further. Then you riding around with your music loud because it's an ordinance. So that's another one. Let me pull you over. That's furthermore for me to search you. Then you got your window down. And you might just be happy to smoke a cigar, black and mild, or some yin yang. And then you caught, and you want to know why you messing with me? Because you're doing this to yourselves. Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in that position.
What you do in the privacy of your own home, in the privacy of your own compound, the privacy of your own place, that's your bit. That's why it's called privacy. Mm-hmm. You can't see if it's private. So now you got the government telling these young guys, and we don't want you dressing alike and riding around in cars and having weapons and radios in your car looking for trouble. But on the flip side, the police got radios in their car, dress alike, ride around with weapons, and looking for trouble. Mm. How deep is that?
Think about it.
That's a moment of silence right there. But now, the only way they can destroy us as a people, as a culture, is to attack your integrity or your character. Because they can't attack your finance or your cause or your material thing, because you can get them back. But once you step on somebody's pride, which is another wrong thing to have, once you step on somebody's pride, now they want to hurt you. Because you said that I was gay. Or you said, but if he was gay and it's the truth, what you get mad for? So now he loses. I'm just speaking in parallels here so you can ride with me on consciousness, unconsciousness, and idiocy from a hip-hop perspective. You follow me? Next.
Any questions for Big G? Anybody? Anything enlightening to you? Anything that you want to discuss? Something that you want to know?
We've heard people talk about, how do we bring hip-hop back to its origin? But I've almost heard that since self-destruction.
Yeah.
You know, that was some of the old cats trying to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, KRS-One, Chris, Boogie Down Productions.
I wish we had, you know, maybe we had Curtis Blow back in there. I mean, wasn't he doing something?
Yeah, everybody's still doing their thing. They're on the road now. You know, they got this Legend of Hip Hop tour out, which I've done a couple of the openings up for some of them, and they got a lot of things going on that a lot of old school acts are really involved with. But far as taking it back to its core and its essence, the mindset is that the kids have gone so far from that generation doing so much negative that they can't even imagine what the younger generation would bring. So my point is, if you're scared to ride, then you must be scared to die. And if you're scared to die, then you ain't willing to sacrifice. You feel me? I'll give up my life right now if we can change the whole game and we can unite and come together and show them what this was supposed to be. Because this is the multi-trillion-dollar industry in existence, is the form of music called hip-hop music and the hip-hop culture that our culture developed. They make more money on our culture than we do, either by locking you up in the privatized prisons, geared to help you fall back into a mental slavery mentality, not physical, because you free to do what you want to do. So they're just lurking and waiting for you to do the crazy stuff. So, you know what I mean? And a lot of the entertainers want to get out here and they want to look good, and I respect them, because, and you can't say they don't, because I bodyguard some of y'all. Big boys. I'm a good dude, and they know I'm a good dude. Because if I was a bad dude, come on, I know your combinations, I know all that stuff. But I never hurt, because that's not my character. I'm not built that way. But in hindsight, if it comes to save these kids in the hip hop game, you have to go back to its original. What did we mean? Where did we mean this to go? And I ain't saying we as a people, because some of the people wasn't there, so they don't know. I'm talking about we as the old school hip hop originators, where we need to have it go. Not you people that exploit the culture, exploit and made it an industry, and turned it into business. The difference between business and industry, just so those that don't know, industry means that you can get somebody to do it for cheaper labor, or just get rid of you because you are praying, and even though you do own the music, but you signed your soul off for $200 in that contract because you needed a quick drink. And business is, you sign a contract, I sign a contract, we put all the stipulations, excuse me, break that down even further. We put all the things that we're going to do for each other in that contract. You feel me? And that's the difference. So we need to put things back in perspective. The only way to do that is keep it 100. By teaching these young guys, stop signing them to contracts, multi-million-dollar deals, thinking they're gonna do mature things when they're ignorant, because they're young, they don't know.
Are they listening to you?
They are now. I mean, we was riding.
One of the things we were talking about last week. Said like the young cats don't listen to. That's like there's no reverence anymore for the seasoned cats anymore.
But they don't listen to the police, they don't listen to the clergy, they don't listen to the teachers, they don't listen to the parents, because they don't relate to them. That's what they say. But they relate to this hip hop game. They relate to somebody that they can't be intimidated.
Right.
They relate to somebody that does the same thing they do, which is grab these microphones and tear it up. Rock shows. I rock crowds. I don't rock rhymes. You see what I'm saying? They relate to that. So you have to have the people that do that reach them. They respect them before they respect anybody else, because they relate to them. You know what I mean? What don't relate is that everybody say, yeah, what you're saying is right, but they don't support it. They don't get on and say, hey, go to GMan, original GMan Hip Hop. You know what I mean? Go to Bing, type in original GMan Hip Hop, and watch the interviews come through. Watch my numbers. We riding over him when he's picking me up from the hotel, and I called one of the radio stations. They just did the interview the other day, and there was like 400 calls in today. What he said? This is what she said.
432, something like that.
And she's giving it re-air it. So those are numbers, and then multiply that by all the other interviews that is going on. So are they listening? Yeah, they listening. Am I expecting them to go out and buy GMan? I don't care if they go and buy it. They listen. They say I'm not doing this for money. If that was the case, I would put Be Where You Are out as for pay. I gave that to the public for free, and that's what me and Michael Jackson and Bro. That's for free. That's because I love doing what I do. It's not about the money. I spend money taking care of and mentoring young guys that don't got fathers in the house on my own.
And he better than me, because I want the money for the song I produced.
You know what I
mean? I need my change.
But bring it back on some real though. Yeah. So you understand why I did that? Because that's straight marketing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna get you more money in the long run.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you bring
Yeah.
back the other stuff. It's the anticipation of that. That's just smart, so you young guys understand
What's coming next.
It's what's coming next. He giving us this. What he got next? And
Right.
then you give them what they want, which is that who they got your back that y'all gonna play later.
So, okay, here's my question. Are all the older people that were the originals in hip hop, is that a movement now that they trying to get it back? Because I don't know. What is it that they had a vision for it to be, and where did it go awry? Because we can blame Mr. Master and all that,
Right.
but we have to take some ownership too.
Yeah.
Because the rivalries and all the craziness.
Yeah, but that was going on before
We-
hip hop. So
we
that the rivalry, it may have.
No, I'm not rivalry. The rivalry.
Oh, the rivalry.
Like
Excuse
East
me.
Coast versus West Coast and the
But-
hip hop fights and all that. It was
None of
senseless.
that would have mattered if it
Right.
hadn't made money.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so for me,
Right.
that's where it went wrong.
Right.
We
Okay.
didn't control the money.
Right.
And so
Okay.
once people start divvying up money, as young people, like you said, you don't begrudge somebody for figuring out their niche.
Mhm.
You know, I would have loved to have been one of the pioneers of gangster rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I hope I would have evolved into some more productive gangster rap over
Right.
the years, because at some point, and you've seen it with Ice Cube, you see it with even Snoop. After they reach a certain age and a certain level, they kind of tone it down. You know,
And
Cube-
if that's the case, not to cut you off,
No.
but you can keep going. But I just want to put this in there. At some age, that means if you got to slow it down, then that means it wasn't right in the first place.
And let me go back to a comment you made about earlier about the police and something about a choice with how they dressed and
Mm-hmm.
they're going, you know, I forget, you had 4 things that you put together. But at the end,
Dressing like,
Dressing
carry
like-
weapons.
right,
Be ready on
Right.
the car, looking
Yeah,
for
right
trouble.
around
but
looking for
see,
trouble.
that's the police job.
Mm-hmm.
That's our choice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge difference in that. It's just like that police officer who got killed here recently, who ran into the house trying to break up something. That's his job.
Yeah, but would he have a job if we didn't do some of that stuff?
Well, there'd be few of
So
them
my
working.
my statement for that is taking accountability for your actions. If you don't want them riding around doing what they're doing doing to us, then we have to put ourselves in as less attention
Oh, no.
and as less things
I'm-
as possible.
I'm totally agreeing with you, but that's why I'm saying that was we make these choices that put us in bad situations.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
get as high as you want in your house, and you could probably live a crime-free life.
Yeah.
But when
But
I go to a lot of conferences, I get off the elevator in a hotel, and a bunch of black kids are in this hotel room getting high. Door wide open.
Mm.
I just, I don't know them from a hill of beans, but I can smell the weed.
Right.
I go knock on the door. Can y'all at least close the goddamn door? What do you mean? At least make the police do their job.
Yeah.
Because one thing we lost is common sense.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do all kind of shit. We ain't never stopped doing the stuff we did. We just stopped doing it. We weren't doing it in front of everybody.
Right. Right.
There was a logical piece of common
Consciousness,
sense.
yeah. We lost consciousness of it.
Well, and the consciousness piece we lost because the more we integrated, the crazier we got. So now stuff happens and we look up and we're like, that man who shot up the National
You
Armory in
said when
DC.
you say integrated, you mean the more we
The more we saw white folks,
crossbred
the more we
into
saw
different
white
cultures
folks'
or-
acceptance in this
I
country.
see what you're saying.
The more
I'm
we
just
sought their
putting it in
approval.
terminology so I can come back
Yeah.
to it. Because what you're saying is, in essence, is it really don't have nothing to do with the integration. It got to do with our self-ignorance. Because I don't care who you integrate with, they can't make you do what you want to do. So that has nothing to do with them riding around doing some of the stuff that they do. And I'll be the first one to tell you that, yeah, I feel wrong in some way, because if you can get on national TV and tell the Jewish people that you're sorry for the Holocaust that you had nothing
Correct.
to do with, and not apologize
Correct.
to us
Correct.
for what we done to help build what you living in and where
Holocaust,
you at.
Holocaust didn't even happen here.
Right.
Right.
But we don't mess with no Jews.
And we apologize to them nationally by the president.
Yeah.
The last president, that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel bad for it.
But, but that's a lack of respect for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't care because we too busy want respect from each other.
Correct.
That we accept disrespect from others.
That's crazy.
But when you're trying to out-white white people, it's a losing proposition from day one.
Oh yeah.
I'm a baseball junkie. I grew up playing baseball, and people look at me like I'm crazy. I say this all the time. We gave up the entire Negro League for a handful of black folks to play ball with white people. We gave up an entire industry. We've given up jazz for the most part to white folks. we probably giving up blues to white folks for the most part.
And we're struggling not to give up hip hop.
Correct.
Especially
Some of the
R&B,
white folks.
because you look at
That's
the number
right.
one song right now is what's his name?
Timberlake.
No, not Justin
Robin
Timberlake.
Thicke.
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke.
You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Blurred lines, and let's
With
keep
the-
it real. Blurred lines. I mean, it's a hip hop connotation in there somewhere because R&B acts usually don't sing on that type of rhythm about that type of negativity.
Right.
Not being disrespectful, but it is what it is. What you think blurred lines is? The white lines while you're driving? What you think that mean? Where that comes from? You get some blurred lines. See what happened. Just like you thought Soulja Boy was a compliment. Zoom,
Right,
super soak
right,
that
right.
zoom. You thought that was a compliment, ladies. Then when you find out what he meant by it, then you was like, that's not me, girl, but that was you a minute ago on the dance floor.
Sure was.
Yeah.
You
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's so like you said, look at from things from a baseball perspective. Let's go back to the 70, 76, 79 World Series when Reggie Jackson hit a home run. That's how our people is sometimes. We hit that home run and we get comfortable. But then we come back around, you was like, nah, you ain't gonna do it because we had lost faith. We lost faith. We spiritually sick. We need some healing.
Oh, definitely.
God the hospital, Jesus the medicine, and the Holy Spirit is the You feel me? So my point is, when the second time he came up to bat, our people was just like that. We don't support him. We don't get behind him. We didn't believe in him. Reggie said, I got my own mission today. Bow! Another home run.
Yep. I saw
Our
that
people
game.
started coming together. Then we started, we. Now it's we. I want to be we all the time. I want to speak a little French every now and
Yeah.
then.
Why can't it be we
All
before
the time.
before you see?
Support me so I can.
Yeah.
I ain't
Can
gotta-
we
if
be
I
we
lose,
before we
I'm
see?
still up
Still
there.
got the love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the third time he came around, you knew he was gonna hit that home run. Tell the truth. You a baseball man. When Reggie came around the third time,
Look,
then
I just be hoping.
but then you had a good vibe that he was gonna hit another home
well, you
run.
know, your vibes are based on the experience of the people. You know, I'm from Chicago, so
I feel your pain.
Sammy.
Feel your pain.
Well, that's okay because Sammy used to stroke him, and if I didn't see nobody else hit, I wanted to watch Sammy 4 times.
Yeah. I
He
heard
didn't hit a
that.
home all the time, but damn it, like Michael Jordan, he come through more often than not.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
we've been conditioned to think everybody else's stuff is better than ours. And until we can undo, it's interesting. I have a professor, a friend who teaches in Texas, and she has her students call me at least a couple of twice a year, just to interview somebody who they think is an activist, somebody who's progressive, a little Afrocentric. And the first question they always ask me is black studies still relevant? And my initial response is, are you as a black person still relevant? If you don't think you're relevant, then no, black studies is not relevant. White folks not going to tell you the history they teach us is no longer relevant
Right. Never
because
that.
they've got a mission while they
Right,
teach
right.
the history.
Right.
Their mission is to impart that culture onto you because that's what they think is important. If it wasn't, if they want to really value diversity in school, you just change the curriculum.
Yeah, individualize it.
Well, you change the curriculum so that everybody in the class can see themselves. It's no wonder white folks think they're the greatest thing in the world. Hell, from
Because that's
day
all you
one,
hear about
that's
is
it.
the great white folks.
We conquered this. We discovered
Yep.
this. We beat their ass. We kicked their ass. We fucked them. We did that. And the rest of us in class like this. God damn.
Right.
and when we kick their butt and we F them and we do this to them, we go to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we
You know?
got, but see, we also got away from teaching that it was a different set of rules.
Right.
We
Right.
still think that they want to like us when collectively they don't.
Exactly.
So as long and it's scared because I believe the Nation of Islam had it right on target. We ain't got to go no place separate, but we need to take care of ourselves first.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, but and there's always a flip side to it, and I love what you're saying because it's about teaching us about the self and us, and that's important to know who you are, who we are as a people. But in hindsight, is we gotta understand who we ain't as a people because that's more important right now. And we ain't the unified party. We don't do what we joke about Mexicans and get all in the
Correct.
house, six together and
Correct.
buy the whole house and then
Right.
buy each other a car. And we don't
Right.
do these things that we talk about them. Well, okay, I'll take a lesser pay if you give me more days off. Or we don't negotiate. So we take what's given to us and we don't create our own residual income. And by using our own God-given talents in the prospective fields that you're in to create your income in. And whether you white or black or blue or Japanese or Chinese, I myself, personal experiences, went to every one of my brothers and sisters, not family only, but brothers and sisters of my community and went to them. Hey, I'm trying to start this new. I created Real School Hip Hop, not nobody else. Real School Hip Hop is where you take, accountability for what you put out in your community and in your material, and help the young guys become better men. But I went to my people. I got no's. I thought it was maybe it just ain't the right time because I got faith and my God gonna give it to me one way or another because I stay true to Him. So I know that it's gonna come one day. It just ain't the right time or the right place. But then I went to what you call one of them,
Well,
a white person, and I didn't ask him and them for no money. I told him what I was trying to do for my people that wouldn't help me. And I said, all I need is this, so I can just do this one little piece of thing to get this to the next level, and the rest will pay for itself. That's what I did. You know what that man told me? He said, I'm not going to give you the money for that. So we used to know. He said, I'm going to give you the money for everything. Because I believe in your spirit. I believe in your drive. I believe in you. And the only thing I want back from you is for you to keep following your dream, because if you don't follow your dream, then I'm going to come looking for you. Now, you tell me what's pro-black or white about that.
But that's the person who could actually who's a visionary. That's because it's not just because it was more Jewish people.
No,
involved.
but it didn't matter if the man was a visionary or not. He was the counterpart to the same people that some of us want to separate from.
But those same
I don't
people,
care what his views is or what. He didn't care about his views. He cared about me as a person and my dream. Not the fact that he was white or I needed financial backing or that I didn't have enough talent, because I had plenty of talent.
But that's because you built something that most of our young people don't build with people unlike them. You build a relationship
with everybody.
So, but once you have that relationship, then people can. It's just like if one of us is gay, we don't introduce our, here comes my gay friend Steve.
It's not me. Now, I'm not the one of us. I'm not the one of us.
But you don't introduce somebody, here comes my gay friend Steve. At some point, that's just your friend.
Yeah.
And same thing there. He supported you because he knew you well enough to trust your vision, to feel your positive vibe. Most of these kids, we just saw some little kid, he may as well not even had on no goddamn pants. His red drawers just from ankle to thigh. White folks are a little worried about that, particularly if you have to coexist with them.
I mean, but anybody, it ain't just white folks. A Chinese is worried about that. Israeli is worried about that. An African is worried about that. Hell, a alien is worried about that if you believe in them. Because when you going around with your pants down disrespecting yourself, then you don't deserve the respect that you think you deserve while you telling everybody that they better respect you.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
You know what I mean? If you're going to put your tail out in the street, then expect the street to give you its tail back.
But we've allowed tail out to be acceptable. And that's where the community starts to go awry.
You're right.
The community used to exert some negative influence. You got that girl pregnant, shotgun wet.
Yeah,
you did something else, somebody's brother came and dealt with
you. disrespected somebody's mama.
You got
dealt with.
And not just by the people with your same last name.
People that don't even know you.
We had communities that turned into hoods.
That's right.
And once the hood became an acceptable thing, then what? I can never remember the name of the video.
But see, the hood is a state of mind. It ain't even where you live at. The neighborhood is where you live at.
Correct.
The hood, the mentality, the metaphor of the hood, that's the state of mind that the people has done allowed to become acceptable in their communities. Because point blank, right is right and wrong is wrong. If you a real thug and you a real gangster, I'm not talking about the ones that I bodyguard that call shots, that open and close malls, that don't allow you to drive if they don't want you to drive. I'm not talking about them that I work with, bodyguarding wise, protecting, like I protect the celebrities and the stars and the rest of them. I'm talking about when you put yourself in that predicament, what happens? When you put yourself in a predicament like that, what happens?
Yeah, bad stuff happens to you. Put yourself in that situation.
And that's my only thing about Real School Hip Hop is taking accountability. I don't want to hear what happened. I don't hear what's been going on. We know that. We heard that. We sit. Man, that's why we tuned you out.
Well,
because we done heard that. Well, we want you to do, not him, not Rick, not me. What we want you to do is to look in the mirror and take accountability for what you do, not what nobody wants you to do or you think they should do. You do that. For 72 hours, just let go and give it to your who you praise, who your creator is, whoever that is. I don't care if it's the roach on the wall. Whoever you praise, for 72 hours, let go and let that person watch.
The music went from telling our story to creating the story.
To being our story.
Correct.
To being our story.
So it went from telling you about that broken glass everywhere to creating an environment where it was okay. We the only people in the world call our women bitches and hoes for profit.
Ain't that the
Don't
truth?
nobody else put that stuff on no CD and sell it, and then the sisters dancing to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when you know
Yeah.
you're sick.
And calling it to each other like it's
Like it's
their
cool.
God-given name.
We know we sick.
We
Well,
fight
You know,
for the right to
and
call
then
each
get
other
mad,
names.
and
That's
then
what
get
it
mad.
is. I mean,
we go into collective shock when we see it's a brother who shot up the DC that armory, because historically that was not something we did.
Right.
We go into shock when the DC sniper turned out to be a brother. You know, we like, no, we don't do that. But the longer again we stay around,
Because we don't have to snipe. We riding by killing them. We killing each other. What you need a rifle around? They killing the numbers that man did is no comparison to the numbers last week in a couple of states.
Chicago got 13 on one night.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So the sniper
One spot.
that was an isolated incident, and it's a crazy pox in every society. But the way we killing each other in groves is ridiculous. It's like if they don't understand that dead soldiers don't make them and themselves no money, then if you kill off all your soldiers, who you have fight for you?
They're gonna recruit us again. Steve, we need you.
We paranoid. We
18th
paranoid.
we need you on
We
18th
run around
Street.
getting firearms, and we gonna start running down the street shooting each other on just because they coming out the house because we don't know what they might do.
well, I'm living for the day when I don't know if you remember. I think I might have told you so. I don't know if we talked about it here. Remember when the Israeli Prime Minister got killed?
Yeah.
Okay, and I was struck because I was watching the news, and I'm a news junkie, so I was watching the news, and I was watching these Jewish folks talk, and they were shocked and appalled that it was a Jew who killed them, and there was a collective sense of how did that happen? How does a Jew kill another Jew? Now you know Jews in Israel, they kill each other.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But the collective pause that they had about and the shock about how can another Jew kill another Jew? I'm waiting for the day when black folk look at each other and say, how black killing another black? How'd that happen?
It used to be that when
Did that happen?
communities was communities.
Well, think about it. When the sister stabbed MLK,
Mm-hmm.
it was a collective. What was wrong with her that she would kill one of us, one of our own, one of her own? Remember that when she tried to kill? So were we shocked when a white person killed her?
Mm-hmm.
No, we were like, okay,
we mentally
expect
trained
that.
for
We
that.
understand
Matter of
that.
fact, the biggest shock would be if Obama get out of these 8 years still alive.
No, he will because he has to be the downfall for everything that ever happened wrong in society.
But I'm just saying, when's
You know
going to
what I
be a
mean?
time when, and I hope the message comes back, when the message comes back that we should be just as shocked when another brother kills another brother.
But I think we should listen from a lady's perspective because, like, since there's a sister in here, like, how hip hop has affected her and them as a whole, as a lady. Because I got my own perspective on women, and you got your own perspective on women. We all have our own perspective on women, but sometimes, like, we want to love our women, but we don't know how to love them, and we can't say we always do because when was the last time you asked your woman how she want to be loved?
This morning.
No, I'm speaking in general, not you.
Oh.
personally.
So like you're talking
I'm speaking in general.
Oh, my bad.
You know what I mean?
That's just
Right.
shit. Sound like it was a
And she
personal
probably,
thing.
and she probably said longer. No, I'm see, look, we understand. All right, but from a sister's perspective, you know, and this is a hip hopper, a diehard straight hip hopper, asking like an African American woman, since what's going on in the hip hop game, not how has it affected you, not that I want to assume or nothing, and what you think it should do, we can do to make it a better form of music for these people, or the street, if you will.
I think at my age, being that same era where hip hop started into now, I think it helped create a divide between men and women. Right now, as a result, men and women really don't talk. They really don't get into each other. It just created a divide. We have more women saying that I don't need a man, being independent because of the divide. So the divide itself has hurt our community. I mean, if the two don't come together, male and female, they cannot procreate. They cannot keep the
Not male and male, not female
right.
and female,
not
not
female
that.
and
All right.
female, but
None of the
male
Leviticus
and
stuff.
female, they cannot procreate. Sure, they can go adopt and do all that, but the actual natural procreation won't happen. As a result, the Afro-American family, we used to be #1 in making babies. We not. Mexicans and even the Chinese is coming up for, you know, ahead of us as far as making people. We got to keep making babies.
Well, that's
a whole nother thing.
that could be because the haters took away the long loving, and now they give you the quick fuck, so you don't really get nothing. You don't get nothing but moist and wet. And that's all you get. You know.
Well, anyway,
That's all I'm saying. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You know.
All right, enough of her talking about me
so,
now. I swear to God, I wish I was Gerald Levert, boy, because I'd still be smacking myself on the road like he did. But I feel it from a woman's perspective. She said that there's a disconnect, and that is so true. And people don't think that the culture don't have much to do with it. They do, because it became when certain types of rap came out, it became okay to call a woman a B. She accepted it. So now that you accept it and you think it's cool on records, what makes you think that the same people ain't gonna say it with an 8 record? You don't let it be cool. You used to get smacked in your mouth when you said something like that, or get some soap in your mouth. You remember them days? Now all of a sudden,
or get left alone.
Right.
You know, back in the day, the women didn't have no problem with moving on.
Yeah, leave you alone.
You know,
being disrespectful.
Exactly.
And now it's like she think you loving her because you choking her.
It's the more disrespectful, the more they want you.
Name. Right. The more
that's crazy.
And thug you get, the better popular you become in some neighborhoods. And women look at your little cute little white ones, and they think that you got money, or they think that you the best man because you wear a size 12 or something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that. But that's not the truth. The case of the matter is our disconnect comes from not having respect for ourselves. It ain't even the women that's the problem.
It's lying to yourself. Disrespecting yourself,
I do have to
not
say,
being yourself. Yes, baby.
some big things do come in small packages.
But they can go a long time.
What she say?
She said some good things do come
I
in
said
small
big things.
packages. Oh, big
Big
things.
things.
Small
Big
Big
small
things.
bags.
Oh,
Big
for real,
things.
for real.
I'm just saying. I just have to let y'all know.
All
Always
right.
look for the size 12, 13.
Okay.
Big things can come in small packages.
All right.
Small shoe sizes.
All right.
Yeah, but we
So
got
other-
those small shoes around yonder. And I'm sorry, and everything matched with big round here.
Y'all are something else. Y'all.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It goes so long, my watch stopped first.
Y'all are crazy.